Hey guys, this is me, Logan, and I'm going to give you guys some hunting tips. And our series right now is Scenes from the Rut. And, well, let's get started. Oh yeah, this video is sponsored by my friends Cameron Cox and Trent Garris. They're with me also on New 16 Carolina, so maybe if you look it up, you might find us. But, alright. Rut rule number 1. Good spot, wrong time. While tracks may be relatively good, and fresh tracks and droppings, even an old scrape, you know, I mean, seriously, you think that that's a good thing around a crop field too. But this is not the ideal place to hunt during the rut. And do you know why? Well, this is why. This is not an ideal place to hunt because at the height of the rut, most bucks are checking trails or cruising corridors for does. And what that means is that they're trying to go find the does, and they're in the woods. They're not, they're not on a cornfield or a crop field, wheat field, alfalfa field, whatever. They're not there. Number 2 is an old rub. Whitetail bucks begin rubbing trees in late summer or early fall. Okay? Pretty much that. And may rub hundreds of trees in 1 year. The presence of a rub only indicates that a buck has been in that spot once and he may never return. So pretty much what that means, if you see an old looking rub, don't hunt there because he will not come back, and if he does, you will be really lucky, but most of the time they do not come back, so don't try. Okay, number 3, non-estrus does. Females don't always go into estrus at the same times. Does that aren't ready to breed, those that have already mated with a buck, will often be part of a family group, including yearling does and fawns. So what that means is, if you see a whole bunch of pack of deer, a whole little herd full of does, newborns, fawns, little guys, there won't be any bucks around there because they're not in estrus. Number 4, a doe bedding area. Does that are not being chased by bucks will often bed in a gentle terrain with moderate vegetation not very far from food sources. Trails that lead from feeding areas to bedding areas are typically an easy spot to hunt. That means that you could probably get one of your does down for the year near a food source, and if it's right near the woods with moderate vegetation and just a cornfield right in front of it, that would be a good place to take down your first doe of the season. Now, here's something that, you probably will never see. If you do, you are really lucky. My uncle has actually seen one time a doe and a buck mating. And when a doe is ready to be bred, a buck will often herd her to a small secluded area or thicket and out of the way, not frequently, entered, exited by other whitetails. When many deer are mating, it is referred to as the lockdown. And what that means is that, if you want to get a buck, but, you don't want to do that. Especially when it's mating, because, making a new buck, possibly, and, in a couple of years, he'll be huge. Or, you don't know. That's why you don't want to do that. If you see that opportunity, buck with doe, and they're doing their thing, don't shoot. If you do, at least wait till, they're done mating, and then take down the buck. Or don't take down the doe, because, you're killing other bucks, possibly, before they've even, come out. Well, okay. An oak stand, and this would be number 6 of the ruts. Acorns can compose up to 80% of a deer's diet in the fall. So when they drop, deer will stay inside the woods if there's a whole bunch of acorn trees near you. They will stay at that very spot. Rutting bucks may not feed much, but the does they are after will. And males will monitor these areas. That means that they will come to those areas for specific reasons known as mating. I mean, they want to mate. They're looking for a doe. They'll just watch, and if you see a huge, big-necked buck come in, that's your opportunity. I had the pleasure of shooting one. He just came out of rut, and he was really big still. Like, his neck was pretty big, but he was kind of thin, so I think he might have rutted. But, alright, we're going on to number 7, and that would be a buck bedding area. A mature buck in the rut typically beds around other deer territory that is remote, thicker with vegetation, or has tougher terrain than places where does usually bed. He will leave this area to search for does. Now that means, he's going to be somewhere where, you wouldn't think any deer would go except like a mule deer or something, But he will come down from that spot, and if you have like a perfect place where you have seen trails, going through that place, and you're lucky, you might just be lucky enough to get a buck when he's coming out of that bedding area. Whatever you got, shoot him. Bow, gun, anything. Shotgun, crossbow even. Shoot him. Alright, we're going on to number 8. A good rut stand. Setting up a stand near a buck trail. That's what I just said. Like, literally. If you can find one, or on trails that connect to doe bedding areas, which rutting bucks will run on to in search of estrus does, is usually a reliable tactic during November, around that time. Now, a good time to go hunting, actually, would be Thanksgiving Day. If you do that, and you get them all clean, then you get the meat ready, you got perfect deer for the day, for that meal. But right now, going to number 9. Deer tend to avoid crossing any large open places, so this narrow area adjacent to a wash between the oak stand and the doe bedding area to the right is natural. It's a trail corridor. It's a trail corridor, and thus a good spot to watch. That doesn't mean, get up there in that stand right then, You don't want to, out hunt it. I have actually burnt out a stand before. And that's pretty much all I can do right now, but I will have more videos later on. I'll do one tomorrow, but we will be starting from 10 all the way to 16. So, see you guys. Again, I am Logan Person, and pretty much that's all. Good old Brown and Hat right here. Alright, guys.